welcome back. My name is Brittany, and today's video is a March TBR. It is so gloomy out. It's overcast, it's gray, it's been rainy here in Alaska, and I know there's still a few days left of February. We probably have like one more round of snow and freezing, but like mentally, spring is here. Like spring has sprung. Don't care, it's happening. And I know, like, Ma, Brittany, you should like go with the flow and like be with the season of life. And to that I say no. No, thank you. Thank you, next season, please. I don't know, I like the changing of the seasons. I don't know, I'm just excited for like greenhouse and gardening, summer and sunshine, and like I could have run outside this whole time, but it's really hard to run in the snow. So I want to like do some spring running and just like all the other like fun things that I feel like come with the melting of snow and the emergence of spring. So I'm manifesting that. I'm channeling that today with my sun hat and my yellow shirt because it's happening, according to me. I just want the record to show, I just filmed that March TBR where I told you how I was manifesting spring with my sun hat and my yellow t-shirt because it was gloomy, and the fucking sun came out. Yeah, the sun came out. I'm just saying. It worked. Woo! Yeah. Oh, it feels so good. All right, bye. Anyways, even though the lighting's not great, I wanted to get this out because, like I said, there's only a few days left of February, and I want you to have some books to add to your March TBR, and maybe we can read them together. At the same time, though, this TBR is so chaotic. It's not even funny. It's funny, but it's so chaotic. February's TBR was thoughtful, intentional. It's very planned out. There was a reason for choosing what I chose. And this month, I feel like the fucking squirrel, like, like there's so many things that sound interesting right now, and I don't know what to read. I do have like probably 10 plus books to talk about today. It's very unrealistic that I will get through all of these, but I still want to talk about these books because, first of all, it just means I get to talk about more books, and that's always fun. But also, I don't know, there's some good stuff on my list, and maybe there will be something you can add to your TBR. So let's just dive right in. Some housekeeping though. So some series I need to make some progress on, or would like to. I have a couple open series, and I don't want to fall into the trap where I read book 1 or 2 here and there, and then I forget, and I need to go back, blah, blah, blah. I want to like make progress because rereads are fun, and I like to reread books, but more so like with a purpose, whether I'm like looking for a cozy reread or I'm like rereading in preparation for like the continuation of a series, or I just like want to get more out of it the second time. Like I'm not trying to reread books because I've just let it like lapse and stay in limbo for too long. Especially I've got some fantasy that I want to make progress on, and I feel like fantasy books are easy to like lose the details on. So the 4 things I want to make some progress on would be the Skyward reread I'm doing by Brandon Sanderson, the Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, the Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu, and the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. So all of these, I've read a handful of books from each one. I just need to keep going. The Dandelion Dynasty and Thursday Murder Club will be audiobooks for me. I believe I have a Libby loan for Thursday Murder Club book 2. So hopefully that will come out. Those are like things I want to complete or just like make some progress on. That's already 4 books, but I have more, don't worry. I have more to tell you about. So I have a couple new releases. One of them is The Women by Kristen Hanna, and this is an audiobook for me. This is what I'm going to listen to. It is narrated by Julia Whalen, and I love, I adore Julia Whalen and Kristen Hanna. That is just like a dynamic duo for me. Let me back up. The historical fiction that Kristen Hanna has written, the ones that have been narrated by Julia Whalen have been my favorite. There's one Kristen Hanna I didn't really like. but it was a different narrator. Just saying. Just saying. Julie Whalen's my favorite anyways, but I just really like that duo of Kristen Hanna's writing, her characters, her story, but like the way Julia delivers it. So this will definitely be an audiobook for me. I'm so excited. I forgot it came out until I saw it in the airport when we were traveling. So I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely want to get to that one. This follows Frankie, who is in nursing school, and then she becomes a nurse, and in 1965 her brother joins the army for the Vietnam War, and she decides to join the Army Nurse Corps. I'm hoping, just based on what I've read from Kristen Hanna, I am hoping for like friendship, camaraderie. I bet she's going to take a look at the, you know, kind of awful behind the scenes of war. I'm really interested in the nurse aspect of our main character. I don't think, from what I've read, I don't know if Kristen Hanna has done a nurse perspective before. I'm not sure, but I'm curious. Anytime there's a nurse in a story, I just find it interesting, you know, to see how we relate. I also am hoping for some really good exploration of PTSD and trauma in this, because it sounds like we follow Frankie before, during, and after the war when she comes home. So I have never worked like combat nursing, military nursing in any way, shape, or form. I've only been an ER nurse. Sometimes it feels like combat nursing, if I'm being honest. Sometimes, some days it feels like a war zone. But you know, there's healthcare trauma kind of no matter where you work. Things can be pretty fucked up. So I am really interested to see if and how Kristen Hanna navigates that. So yeah, I just think this is going to be another great combo from the two women, and I'm excited to see how this goes. The other historical fiction I have is Tears of Amber by Sofia Segovia, translated by Simon Bruni. And I think this is also going to be another dynamic duo. Simon Bruni translated Sophia's other book, The Murmur of Bees, which I absolutely adored. I love that book so much. And it was a surprise, like, at how much I loved it. With the things from that book that I loved, Sophia's storytelling style, her characterizations, like, she really made me care for her characters. And the way she wove her story was really fascinating. I do want to check that out. It's on Kindle Unlimited right now. Hopefully it still is if you're watching this later. But definitely check there, because Kindle Unlimited has a lot of like hidden gems. Tears of Amber follows two different families during World War II. One of them, I have my notes because I'm cheating, sorry. Ilse and her family is one group of characters we follow, and then we also follow Arno and his mother as they are hiding in the city within the rubble, and then Ilse and her family are leaving the city. But I think what will be interesting is Ilse's Polish laborer is running with them, but this is what he does. So I think he's gonna, this is like why I'm interested in it. As they flee from the Soviet army, his enchanting tales of folklore keep her mind off the cold, the hunger, and the horrors unfolding around them. He tells her of a besieged kingdom in the Baltic Sea, from which spill the amber tears of a heartbroken queen. None of them realizes his stories will prove crucial and prophetic. So I'm like, I have different theories of maybe how that's going to play out, but I think it's going to be great. I hope it's impactful. I don't know, I'm feeling good, and I just want to like keep this momentum, like enjoying Sophia's other book and checking out one of her other ones. The other historical fiction that I have also sounds really cool. This is The Whalebone Theater by Joanna Quinn, and it is a debut novel. We follow Christabel Seagrave, and in the 1920s, she's about 12, her and her orphan friends and orphan family, they find, I don't know if it's a whale carcass or a whale on the beach, and based on the rules, the king should be able to claim that. However, her and her family have different plans, and they turn the rib cage of the whale into a theater. So I think that part sounds really fascinating. I've done theater and plays locally, and so I do love like when you get like behind the curtain essentially. I think it could be really fun, whimsical, kind of quirky, so I'm hoping for some really good descriptions with that. We also get to meet Christabel's brother, and then when her and her brother are older, World War II has finally broken out. They both become secret agents and go into a Nazi-occupied France. So I'm hoping that we'll get some really beautiful like relationship building, some like really good character moments when they're younger, and then I think the part where they go to France, I think that's going to be really awful. and probably heartbreaking. So I don't know, I've got some good historical fiction on the books. This is one that I own, Ghosts by Dolly Alderton. I have not read her before, but I've seen her other book, I think Everything I Know About Love, circulating around. I saw this at the used bookstore, and so I just snagged it. I really like this cover, just the contrast of that pink and white. It's really simple. So it'll be interesting to check out a book by her. This follows Nina, and I liked the description actually. Where is it? Nina, she's in her 30s. Oh, this is interesting. That's very different. What? I have two covers. What? Oh, that's so funny. Is there a third? No, there's not. That would be funny. Oh, okay. Sorry, that's funny. This is interesting. This book description is different than what Goodreads says. Interesting. This is following Nina in her 30s. She's got a successful career. She's got good friendships, but she is single. And so she meets Max, who on the first day says he's going to propose, he's going to marry her, and then it sounds like he ghosts her. And then that kind of forces Nina to deal with her father's Alzheimer's, her mother's denial with that. So I think it'll end up being pretty profound. Plus I got two dust jackets out of it, so that's cool. It wasn't until my girlfriend was like, hey, have you heard of this book? And I was like, sure have, I own it. This is The Adventures of Amina-Al Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. So I thought this initially was going to be a standalone. I think this is actually going to be a trilogy now. So that'll be interesting. But this is a pirate novel, so Amina was like the top bitch of the game when she was pirating. It said she'd gone through like a couple husbands, backstabbing rogues, a vengeful merchant princes, several husbands, and one actual demon before retiring peacefully to her family life of piety, motherhood, and absolutely nothing supernatural. Her retirement plan goes astray when one of her previous clients comes up and is like, hey, my family member's been kidnapped. I will offer you an ungodly amount of money if you please save them. So Amina feels like there's no choice but to take this offer. This would kind of just set her up and then she could like really retire. However, this case isn't as cut and dry as it seems, and there are more details surrounding the disappearance of the girl than she was initially led to believe. So I think like a fun pirate story. This just sounds really cool for spring. Some action, some adventure, just all the high seas. I think it sounds fun. There's one thriller I want to pick up, and I had it and then like I didn't get to it, so my living loan lapsed. I'm going to try to get it again, and this is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. And I saw this from Meg with Books. It was one of her top 3 books of the year, and it seems to be kind of divisive. You either love it or hate it, and she loved it. And then when you look at the reviews, and even she mentioned in her video that like people didn't like it, I think that's always interesting when there's kind of like a controversial book, you know, like where are you gonna land? So it does sound interesting. It's a closed door thriller, and it follows 5 women who are invited to the estate of Rosa Vallo, the controversial high priestess of feminine horror. Like, that sounds pretty cool. I mean, that just sounds badass already. So they have a chance to write a novel at this retreat. Whoever writes a completed novel, like there's a chance for a book deal, for some money, you know, to be published. However, the writing plans get derailed when people start dying. So yeah, I don't know. That's all I feel like I need to know. Meg with Books liked it because it sounded like it might investigate and explore like female friendships too. And I just always find that interesting. So yeah, I think it'll be a fun spring thriller. The last book I think I want to check out, this one finally got me. It finally got me. I had seen this on BookTube a couple times, and like, honestly, like I don't know, just, I don't know if I would have picked it up, but I feel like the power of suggestion and repetitiveness, that's finally gotten to me. And then I heard the synopsis again, and I was like, oh, it actually sounds like fucked up and really good. So this is Chain Gang All-Stars by Nana Ajay Aziz Brenya. Kamwe Ajay Brena. Huh. How'd you say that? Nana Kawame Ajibrina.
Hi, I'm Nana Kwame Jabrnia, and I'm the author of Chain Gang All-Stars.
It follows some characters. It almost sounds like you have some primary point of views, but one other YouTuber said you do get snippets from other people. But it is a story following criminals and prisoners within the jail system in a maybe not so distant American future, and they are basically fighting to the death for either reduced or like total freedom from their prison sentences. And this has been essentially Americanized into a game, into a sporting event where you can buy tickets, you can sponsor, you have your own favorites, you can watch it from home. So that is what the story is exploring. And I think that sounds, like I said, like really fucked up. And I've heard it's good, I've heard it's really powerful. And I just think it sounds good to check out. Editing Brittany here. So I just did like a bit more research on Chain Gang All-Stars, because as I was watching that clip, I realized that description was only based on other people telling me what the book was about without actually like looking it up myself. So you do follow two female perspectives in this novel. They're both gladiators. It does sound like a gladiator style fight system, but still with like the prophets, the spectators, and it's run and created by a private prison system. So we followed two women and their teammates and lovers, and one of them is going to, in theory, be able to be free soon. So I think that's probably going to cause some problems, cause some conflicts, and I think it sounds even more fascinating with that relationship aspect, because that probably won't work out for our characters. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this very chaotic, sporadic, all over the place March TBR. Hopefully something sounds good. Let me know what you're reading in March down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!